Hey folks, David Stewart here. Today we're going to talk about simping, e-girls, Onlyfans, all that kind of stuff. Here's the big point I want to make. People are wondering, what's with these simping beta males throwing money at online girls to see pictures? They could get free porno. The internet's full of free pornography. What's so special about this girl? The reality is that while men seek sex, what men actually want is to be wanted. What they want is attachment. This is part of our, not just our, in my opinion, biology, but part of the spiritual makeup of being male and really being female, though attachment, I think, works differently depending on what sex you are. So why are simps throwing money? What's the simp phenomenon all about? Is that it feels good to have somebody say thank you. It feels so good to have somebody act as though they have a relationship where they need you, where they're relying on you, where they appreciate you, where they care about you. And so that's really where the e-girls make their money, is that they're real. Whereas if a man is just seeking some sort of pornographic stimulation, he could get that for free. But that's a person who doesn't know him, will never know him, will never send him a message, will never reply to him in chat, will basically never interact with him in any way, is simply making something as a product to be sold. And especially as you go down, say, the rabbit hole of like cam sites and stuff, is not doing what the person requests. Like the person can give money and get something that they want, and they feel like that creates some sort of relationship, even though it's transactional. This is really just an extension of the strip club, which I've talked about before. The strip club doesn't sell sex. Now, there's people who like to think that, you know, the private rooms, there's prostitution going on in there. That's almost never the case, but that's kind of what they sell you. They sell you the idea that maybe you'll get to have sex, but it's really a deeper thing. If you have ever been in one, the way the girls will act towards you, it's a fawning, emotional kind of thing. It's trying to evoke in you the feeling that that person wants you. They're selling you the idea that a woman is actually interested in you in any way. She's not really interested in you, though. It's just an illusion. It's just a job to extract the money from your pocket. And in the case of a strip club, you don't even receive any kind of sexual satisfaction from it. You'd have to go home and do that, I guess. So the OnlyFans phenomenon really, it has to do with, getting something that you feel like you are paying for and is unique and is something that you own in a certain sense, but also it's really because there's a relationship with that other person. That is a real person on the other side of the screen. So just as an example, this one was doing the rounds. Dude pays $10,000 to meet a girl he follows on OnlyFans. All he got was a hug. I guess this guy here. 1 month later, the money is funding a trip for her and her actual boyfriend that she had the entire time. Now, people cringe at this. They're like, this guy is like being super cringy. And yeah, but all he wants is somebody to acknowledge that they need him or that he's done something good for them. This is something that's really lacking from males in our current society. People never say thank you. People never compliment men. People never give men any kind of emotional support. There's a big plague of loneliness among young men in our country. And so they're looking to try to fill that hole, that emotional hole in them anyway. And Onlyfans or following or simping for e-girls and throwing money at them is some way to make them feel a little bit better about themselves just for that moment. Just like throwing that a couple dollars at a stripper makes you feel like you were desired just for that particular moment. But it's all an illusion. As you see, even though she makes pornographic content for men, she has a boyfriend who's apparently okay with that. And okay with her exploiting the emotional state of other men. Really, it's an emotional exploitation. It is not a physical one. It's kind of like a form of prostitution in that you're selling visual aspects of your body. You're selling a fake relationship. You're selling the fake stand-in for what would be an actual normal consensual relationship with another person, such as marriage, and it's a substitute for that, and you're extracting money in response to that. Obviously, I don't agree with that. If you're a person who simps, if you're a person who before the simping phenomenon, go back 10 years, it was white knighting. It's like some porn star says something and then a bunch of people come to her defense. And it's like, why are they doing that? Because they want to feel appreciated. They want to feel like there's somebody will like them for what they're doing. They want that emotional connection. And that's one of the things about social media that I like as a social media creator, is that I can actually talk to you guys. I can actually have a connection with other people who watch my content. It's a two-way street. I can see the comments. I can respond to them. Other people can respond to them. Same thing on Twitter. We can tweet at each other. We can have conversations. That's very invigorating. But it's not the same as like hanging out at the store, and most people understand that. But most people don't have like a strong emotional need for like, I just need to like hang out with a friend. Some people do, but like you have a really strong emotional need if you're completely isolated from women, as a man at least. So that's where I really think the simping and e-girl phenomenon comes from. It's an emotional need for men. And we like to pretend that men don't have any emotional needs, or they're purely seeking some sort of sexual gratification. And in reality, sexual gratification's bound up with the emotional side of it for men, whether they want to admit it or not. Lots of men don't like to admit it, but it's real. It is a real thing for the vast majority of men. Unless you have some high level of psychopathy, you're going to have emotions that are involved with sexuality. That's just kind of how it works. So anyway, guys, leave me your thoughts down below about the simping phenomenon, the plague of simps that lets women basically be able to buy $2 million apartments without doing anything, without producing anything of value for the world. And more than that, you have to ask yourself, if you're making pornographic content on OnlyFans, what are you going to do in 20 years? What are you going to do in 30 years? Are you going to look back fondly on that? Are you going to view that as, you might view that as like a good trade-off? What are you going to do later? You better be saving and investing really, really well, because you can only sell that for so long. And eventually I feel like the bottom has to drop out of the simping market. It can't last forever, because eventually people get desensitized to the jig, right? If you go to the strip club every day, you're aware of how it works. Or you get desensitized to this idea of like, this person cares about me, and you stop getting that emotional feeling. You stop getting those endorphins from throwing money at someone. So what do you get instead? I don't know. What replaces that? Hopefully you'll walk away from that and you'll, pursue a more meaningful relationship. But anyway, that's all she wrote. I think it's another layer of, pornography addiction, but it's filling that emotional hole. So let me know, and I'll see you guys next time.